Hey everybody, Michael Diederich here. I'm just a poor boy, and welcome to part 3 of this 3-part video series entitled, If at First You Don't Succeed. Now, if you haven't seen the other 2 parts, you're jumping in a very weird place, and I'm not going to explain the entire process all over again. I will, though, tell you where we left off last episode. So, I had completed my second swipe. Wet, it looked like this, and then I waited until it dried the next day, and then this is what the final product was. Now, when I really looked at the right-hand side of this piece, it was absolutely beautiful, but the other half of the canvas is just really black. And I was talking to someone about art the other day. You know, living in Europe, I have been to the Rijksmuseum here in the Netherlands, the National Museum, where they have the Nachtwacht, the Night Watch. Beautiful, huge painting, and it's just impressive by its size. But if you ask pretty much anyone in the world, what's the most famous painting in the world, I'm pretty sure that the highest answer would go to the Mona Lisa, even though not everyone has ever seen the Mona Lisa. And the strange thing about the Mona Lisa is that when I went to Paris and I went to the Louvre, then I was amazed at how small it was. I mean, there's Americans go, is that a painting? We got postage stamps bigger than that. I mean, it's way smaller than you might imagine, but it's still an impressive piece of art. So when it comes to art, size doesn't always matter. You've got beautiful, small, intricate sculptures and huge sculptures in the middle of, industrial parks. They're impressive in their own right. So this piece, I realized looking at it, if I just cut it in half and reattached it, I will have a beautiful, beautiful piece. And that's what I did. Now, I have a little experience with reattaching canvas to canvas board. That's a totally different story, but I figured I could pull this off. So I spent a little time with it, and this is the result. This is part 3 of this 3-part series. This is the painting that I ended up with at the end of video 2, reattempting my swipe with slightly thinner paints. So the name of this series is Third Time's a Charm. So this is video number 3. This is the charm. This is the completed piece. Now I've got a little bit of glare here, but I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to get a nice picture in there for you as well. Yeah. And as you can see, this part of the canvas here is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put an image in the screen right now where you can actually see this turn sideways. And you go, wow, that is absolutely beautiful. So, how are we going to fix this? So looking at this, I go, oh, it's such a shame. This half is such trash, but look at this half. Well, who says I can't fix this? And I'm going to. Now, I talked to you before, this is a canvas board. It's still taped up on the back. I'm going to leave it like that just to kind of protect it and take the tape off a little bit later. But what am I going to do? I'm going to fix this by making the canvas smaller. Yeah? So, first of all, deciding how big to make it. Now, if you know anything about like architecture, or even if you edit videos, you've got some ratios that look better. 16:9 is for like YouTube. That's like the magic number. But also a 4:3 is great. 4:5 is great. 3:1 is great. For example, I had a client recently who ordered a piece from me, and it is 30 centimeters long because it goes horizontally, and it's 90 centimeters wide. And I mean, I'm not drawing it perfectly, but there's something about those kind of like 3 squares which you won't see that make this the perfect shape. Now, when the client called me originally, they measured this thing and they said, oh, we can do a 30 by 110. And then you got this, and you go, it's just not as pleasing to the eye. If you study any sort of architecture, you'll see these magic ratios everywhere. So this original piece was 24 by 30. Now, if you want to look at the ratio, just divide each of these numbers by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 30 is 5. So 4 by 5, that's a good ratio, yeah? Now, for this piece, I'm now going to change it. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to make it a horizontal piece like this. So I've got some options, but I think what I like the best is also this option, which is 3 by 2. Yeah? So if you think 24 is going to be now the long side, and I divide that by 3, I get 8. Yeah? Now, so that's going to be the 3 by 2. How do we get the 2? 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. That means I'm going to want my canvas to end up being 24 by 8. Yeah? Sorry, 24 by 16. So let's just take a moment and turn this over. We like this side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure out here the 16 from the edge. Yeah? I'll pull this down here a little bit so I can go closer, get my 0 lined up. 16. There we go for that 16. Something that drives me nuts about rulers as well is like, why don't they just start with the 0 at the end? That's okay. Hold it down to 16. Great. So, using those dots there, I'm going to take my straight edge. I'm going to line them up so I've got a nice straight edge. I'm just going to draw across. So this is basically going to be the size of the painting. Now, for those of you that have seen the preparing a canvas board video, you know that the canvas is, when it's prepared, the canvas is actually larger than the canvas board itself, because I'll pull off this side because this side we don't need anyway. The canvas is actually wrapped and folded around that piece of cardboard inwards, and then it's glued to the back of the canvas. So if I were to cut this here, I would have a problem because I wouldn't have any canvas left to fold over. This is just to primarily give me my size. So right here is the 16. Yeah? Let me just finish peeling this off here so you can see. Great. You can already see here the canvas is already, well, that's tape. There we go. Let's see if I can get it up where you can see it. And I think there's still too much light. No, here we go. Right here, you can see this edge. That's the edge of the canvas. Now it's actually even further. Let's see if I can get that in focus. There you go. There's this like white line here, and if you look a little lower, you see maybe a darker line. That's because I'm just going to go ahead and use a razor to rip this open. When the canvas is folded over, how do you make the back of the canvas look so nice? They actually glue a piece of paper on top of it. So if I take this razor and I go underneath that piece of paper, you can see it comes up there. There it is. And now we see the mystery. So The canvas has been folded over. It's attached to the canvas board here. That's the edge of the canvas. And then the paper goes over the back and the edge of the canvas to make it look nice and crisp. So if you realize from the edge of the canvas, number one, the edge of this, the side, if you look at that, that is literally almost 4 millimeters, yeah? And then from the edge of the canvas to the edge of the painting is 9. So we're talking 13. We're going to go, for safety, we're going to go for 15 millimeters, yeah? Just to give us some extra playing room. And plus, we're going to be able to cover it with paper later anyway, yeah? So from this edge that we've already drawn, remembering that this is the good side of the painting, I want 1.5 centimeters or 15 millimeters, yeah? So I'm just going to put this straight edge here, and again draw another little line. I'm going to score this one a little bit with little dashes, just so I can see the difference between the two lines. Let's get our straight edge, put it along the scored line. Let's get in there and get ready, I think, for some fast forwarding soon. Good, we're about halfway through. Just bending a little, there we go. That looks good. Bend a little both ways. Nice. Okay, so we're almost through. I'm going to try this one more line. I think I might do it. Let's get in there. And here we go. Go. I don't want to damage anything, so I'm trying to be a little careful. Now that that is open, let's give it another try. I was like, oh, this would be a quick video. I didn't imagine that this would be the part that would take the longest. There we go. So, if anyone wants to buy this painting, it's for sale. Now, here we have our lovely scored line. Not so worried about this. Now that I've cut this part off, I am going to take this tape off. Okay, so let's take a look at the cross section real quick, because we have this canvas board, but one of the secrets to doing this is we're going to have to get the cardboard part of the board off. And looking at this, you go, okay, the canvas is attached, but it's very lightly on there, and I'm sure I can get that off if I had a little bit more purchase there, if I could get a little closer to it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to need to get rid of that cardboard anyway. So I just did 2 cuts and then a third before we could even get the paper cutter in there. So I'm hoping that we can cut this at least twice and then carefully a third time. The idea is I want to cut through the cardboard but not the canvas. Yeah, that's going to be the secret and the tricky part of this. Yeah, so let me get my line. Perfect. One, two, three. Yeah, just going to stop there. Now before I bent, and I'm going to do that a little bit, not nearly as far, because I'm afraid of damaging the front side. And looking at this, I'm just going, I'm almost, I don't know if you can, oh there, yeah you can. You can see I'm almost all the way through this. Now funny is, because of the scoring, I'm pretty sure, because that line is so lovely and straight, by putting my blade in here, I don't even need the ruler. But I am going to cut a little bit near the edges, because that's where the cardboard's going to have to definitely release. Yeah? Okay, let's take a look and see, just with the light bend, how close we are. Don't think we're quite there yet. Now, in the same vein, this part's going to disappear anyway. So, that piece of paper we talked about before, here, I'm going to go ahead and get in there. I'm just trying to get the paper off really and not the canvas. Because it's so thin, it might be better to just so I'm going to run my blade again. I'm not pushing too hard now because again I'm getting close and I definitely don't want to go through. Yeah, there we go. Feel on this edge. Definitely coming loose. Yep. This edge as well. So let's do a little run through the middle. Yes, we're getting there. Now I can hear the cardboard is shredding. And now, just to give me a little bit of room to work with, good. So the secret is, well, I'm saying this is a secret because I'm trying this for the first time, so I don't know. But the secret is we want to get the cardboard off. Yeah. So I am just going to start very carefully. There, at least I got that paper off now. So we're down to this cardboard layer. Yeah. I want to see here with what I just cut. How close am I to the canvas? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my razor just to peel off little bits of cardboard. This might be a little time consuming. I think I'm going to sit and do this very carefully, but you can see what the point is. If you look at it from the cross section, I want to get down to this area. I want to get in between the canvas and the cardboard. Alrighty guys, I'm back. I'm so glad I did this differently because it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Once I finally managed to get the canvas separated from the cardboard, then I saw that it was pretty well secure. But you can see here, this is fairly clear edge. I also had to cut in here so I can make this fold later. And at one point I did damage the canvas, but looking, it's going to be totally on the back side, so it's not going to be a problem. Yeah. Now I've done this before, and I did it with super glue. And the thing about super glue was that you had to get it right the first time. So this time I've gone for a quick drying glue that isn't, you know, super glue. It's fast, but it's not that instant of super glue. I made some pictures. Take a look at those. You can see kind of with the carving process that I went. It was basically, if you look at the cardboard from this angle, it was basically kind of like shaving out pieces so I could get it thin enough to get in there. But you couldn't really cut down with 100% certainty without the risk of breaking through and cutting through the canvas. That was the rough part. So first thing I'm going to do is, now that I opened it up enough to get this all out, I'm going to reattach these two little side flaps, because later on I'm going to do my fold over those. Okay. So got my little wooden flat stick here. I'm just gonna push from the edge this down nice and flat. Well, that actually went pretty easily. Last time with the super glue, you really had to hold it down quite a bit to get it to. This went quite easy. Great. Let's see if the same is true of the other side. Make sure that stick is clean. Use the other side of it. Well, that's perfect, guys. I love that. Okay, great. Now, next thing is that we want it to be secure not only against the side of the painting, but also here. Now, when we fold up in a minute, I'm actually going to fold. I'm going to get rid of this flap here. I'm going to fold my side flaps in. Now on this canvas, you saw that the folds were straight, but oftentimes on canvas they are also diagonal. And I find the diagonal ones lead to less seepage on your canvas. If you're using acrylic pouring and it gets underneath the canvas, that diagonal helps protect that fold a lot better. So this is good. What's going to happen this side here, I'm just going to bend it in, and just to give me the leeway I need, I'm going to go ahead already and just press it down, press it down. Let's take a look there. That's good. It's past the fold, and so that it's not too thick here, I'm going to go ahead and cut on this edge, but instead of cutting all the way to the corner where that fold is, I'm going to take a little bit of a right hand turn at the last minute, just so I don't risk the chance of having a little bald spot there. And when I do this fold in, I'm going to make sure that those two little points come in. So I'm going to do this all at once now, and it's going to be a pretty quick process. What's going to happen is I'm going to put glue here on this inner edge, which is where I really want it to be secure, and also all along here. I'm going to probably leave part of this open so I can trim some of it off later. Yeah. Once I have the glue down, I'm going to fold this up first so I really get a nice strong seal between the canvas and this edge. Yeah. So I'm just going to fold it up like that. In fact, there's some glue on there already, so I don't want to go already fold too much, but I have already on the other side of the canvas kind of bent a little bit, so it already knows where the edge is supposed to be. Yeah, but I am going to kind of like pull and fold so I don't get any bumps or bubbles. Yeah, I'm just going to hold it then vertical for a moment just to let it secure a little bit, and then I'm going to make the rest of the folds. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Pushing down, pulling, and to here. Just going vertical. What's going to be, boy? Yes or no? I'm just going to take a look. If I let go, look at that. It should be pretty secure in here, but not completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right where it needs to be. Checking the front of this canvas. It's nice and flat. Good. And then from this back side, I'm going to take my little wooden stick, start folding up straight from the middle, holding it. Good, that corner, perfect. That corner too. I'm really just pulling because I don't want it to loosen or unsecure. I'm just going to keep holding it. I'm going to turn it around now, line this up. Great. Okay, guys. That's it. Now here you can see like it's like loose here, yeah? And I will trim that up later because, as I said, the canvas edge here is about less than a 1/4 inch, and this is like 3/4 of an inch. Not that it's going to matter when I put the paper over it, but because it's black, you may see it through. Again, this is a thin piece. It should be framed. We'll take the rest of this tape off, put that paper on, and then I can also sign and date it on the back, and also put the name on there, and then it is a certified piece. I'm going to finish taking the tape off, and then I'm just going to let it dry, and then tomorrow I'm going to come and finish this video. Yeah? Alrighty, guys, it's the next morning. Now, the first thing you're going to say is, wait a minute, this doesn't look like the last shot. That's right, because last night, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was curious, and I came up to see how it was doing, and everything was fine. But I did notice that on the back of the canvas, and again, not important really, but the clamps were causing a bit of an indent. So I wanted to protect the back of the canvas better. So I actually then put the canvas still face down in between my table and this protective layer, so that these parts of the clamps weren't squeezing down so hard, and I liked it because it was actually drying really well. So I'm just gonna take these off. Great. Oh, yes. See? Looks lovely. Now, I did fold this edge up, and I'll show you why in a minute, but this is super flat. This is really well attached. I'm really, really happy. And if you look at it from here, it looks great. Love it. Love it. Okay, so first thing is, have this little edge here. Yeah, not a big deal. But what I was saying is that flap, there's just a little bit too much of it. So that's why I kind of already folded it up just a little bit underneath there. We're just going to remove that, yeah? Great. So, real quick, I am going to clean this canvas. I'm just going to clean it real quick. Now, I've got a little bit of, like a glass cleaner here. Yeah, I'm just going to do a couple quick sprays in here because I use so much silicone in here. Now, this painting, if it was not dry, you would see some colors on here. Now, it's not a huge disaster, but if you go to clean your canvas and you're getting swaths of black or green or whatever color you're using, then your paint has not cured, and stop before you damage that painting. Yeah. Next, I'm just going to do a little bit more here. I've got this little mixture here. I will make a video about how to clean these. And Olga Solby, I think it's Solby, I use actually her advice for cleaning. So if you're wondering what's in here right now, and you go, I can't wait for your video, Michael, you can go check out her site. She has a video on how to clean your canvases. Okay, that's good enough for now. If I were going to varnish it, for example, which I will do eventually, I would want to make sure that was dry, but for now it's okay. I am, just to protect the front, because I just cleaned it, I'm going to take a little paper towel and turn this over. Now, we've already removed the tape. Yeah, and last time I told you I would apply paper and glue it down, but I had a little inspiration and realized, hey, I have some printer labels that I could print on, full-size ones that are stickers. They're like applications, appliques, and I saw, okay, there's already an edge on here, so I just measured it out. Now, the only thing I did notice is this one edge is rounded. The rest I'll cut straight. But I've cut it, and you're not going to be able to see it because of the edges. So let me just fold that back a little bit so you get the idea. Because with those little edges that are going to come off, it's actually bigger. So this is going to go on the back of the painting. And you see, it's just going to cover him like this. Yeah? I think I want to start in the length, to be honest with you. Let's take a look again. Great. So this is just one of those stickers. What I like to do is just to make it, easy for me, is I just peel back some of the sticker and kind of fold it back, because trying to get this straight is always the trickiest part. Yeah, and once you start applying, it's rough. And I find that if you fold that back, then you can really get your piece centered before anything gets stuck. Yeah, folding forward. Now, and now this here has been applied. I'm just going to fold up. I'm going to pull the sticker back, and I'm just going to slowly peel this off. Pull. And now look, the back side has this beautiful white area again. that you can sign, date, and put the name on. Looks great. And there's the front. So all that needs to happen is let this dry, and we're going to varnish it, and it's done. Alrighty, guys, it is much later on this same day. I've got this plastic up because I'm going to be doing some resin work later. I always think it looks like Dexter, if you remember that series. But anyway, I have waited until the canvas dried, and I decided to go ahead and varnish it. The varnish is still wet, but I've spent so much time on this video, I'm just going to show you the wet final product. Here it comes. There it is. Still a shiny edge. Absolutely love how this turned out. And as a piece on its own, trying to avoid the glare, I mean, you would not say, oh, this was a mistake that was cut in half and fixed. It's just a lovely piece. Now, for the people that know me, I do love, I hate when people go, oh, you know what you should call that? Or they say in advance, call it this. For me, a painting is so personal. It's like a child, and it's like, I don't want you to name my child. However, this is an exception to the rule. If you've made it to this point in the video, then I'm going to give you an opportunity, because not only did I hit 100 subscribers, but I now have more than 1,000 views of my video, so things are going well. I am looking for a name for this painting. And if you give me a name that I go, that's it, then I will contact you and I will send you this painting. Now, just because you submit doesn't mean there's going to be a winner, because if I get all bad names, I'm not going to do it. I actually do have a name for this already in my mind, but for this one time, I'm going to make an exception to the rule. So if you want to take part in this, in the comments below, leave what you think this piece should be named. Yeah? You can see that it's still wet because of the glare there. Well, that's the end of this three-part series. Remember, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And thank you for joining me, and I will see you very soon with another pour. Bye-bye.